Chapter 3 You Get By. It was late in the night when a tender ache began to strain in the heart center. And as we dug deeper into the sand, it was these two hands which came together in prayer. Oh, I wondered, was this a grave where the serious man would be surrendered? Lower and lower, deeper and deeper, with two hands in a sort of prayer, the seamstress said we were in search of a doorway that held secret answers. Yet in this melancholy, there was so much to consider. Was I afraid of the unknown, or was I terrified of the known world? Yet all the while, this seamstress never said where we were going, except that by digging even deeper, we would find a hidden portal. I feel afraid, I told her.
Both faith and fear ask you to believe in something you cannot see. Choose. The choice is free,
said the seamstress. But are we going to get in trouble?
Sometimes a little trouble is good. It can free us from quite the serious conundrum,
said the seamstress as she smiled. The dark night was long. The layers of sand seemed endless. And just then, a wave of heartbreaking pain crashed down upon us, which brought an emotional tidal wave. The wave spilled upon us, highlighting heartbreak, which would not cease or fade. And right when I prayed it was over, another wave came. We dug oh so deep, yet each upsurge of grief would swell as the ocean threw itself upon the mind, when it seemed to toss an entire sea of emotions as the new moon rose over. Oh, when will this pain be over?
Why not ask, what is happening? Don't see this as draining, but rather, what if it is cleansing? Emotions come and go, but don't be afraid of this feeling. Sit with it and notice that this is what we are releasing. This moment holds a great teaching. That way, our serious nature can dissolve, and someday, our youthful spirit will see that this was a plaything. Oh, just wait. This is how we recover. Even if it feels like wasted effort, you were never left behind or abandoned by what you once thought was betrayal. Don't you see? It's all happening for you. Soon you'll see how you've been prepared, and when you recover, you'll arise even stronger,
said the seamstress. But life tricked me. Life led me to find love through another. Why would it taunt me with love if I'm not meant to be with my ex-lover? Not only that, but in this liminal space, I'm homeless. Have you ever been in between homes? It throws you into a sensitive upheaval where everything in life becomes a mess of emotions.
Why, yes. Welcome to my life. But rather than get stressed, I have found a way to play, sing, and dance among the very components that you call a mess. Why, when my life first fell apart, I too was overtaken by grief and sadness. But what I found in time is that all the loose ends of chaos can be very useful when you weave them together in the spirit of playfulness. For example, what one person calls trash is what I crafted into a cap and bells through various fabrics. Some may call these patterns dreadful, but I turned what was once seen as unworthy and abandoned into something with exquisite usefulness. Life is like this. Right when you think it's over, you realize how the simple things are really treasure. Why, I myself am homeless. And if I didn't have the courage to face my own challenges with the spirit of playfulness, you may have very well died with the caged man. It is often our troubles that prepare us. And so, can you take on a little trouble knowing that someday it will benefit others? Why, this pain is not out to kill you, but what if it's here to mold you into your very best version for your future wife and children?
Said the seamstress. But do you understand the pain of a breakup? It ripped my heart open when I had to say the final goodbye. And even worse, it seems there have been 1,000 goodbyes since then. Every morning and evening, her memory is still with me. And why won't it fade? Oh, if love is life's answer, then what is the meaning of heartbreak? And how much can one soul take?
Life is not a problem to be solved. Heartbreak is not a question to be answered. Whatever happens, it leads us deeper through the mystery, and we're better off because life is leading us forward,
she said. But this body, mind, and heart feel ruined by the experience of it.
Yet something changed within your spirit. You're still in between the death of seriousness and the birth of playfulness. Once you learn to trust in what's happening, the portal will open, and you'll get by in spite of all of it,
she said. Get by? You say I'll get by? Yet this is a devastating aspect to such an emotional death. My broken heart cannot explain why the ex-lover would have left.
And a caterpillar may not be able to explain what a butterfly is, but still it trusts the process and undergoes its transformation no matter what it believes about it,
she said. Then if you know so much, what's the greatest lesson you've learned?
No matter what happens, the soul knows how to get by. No matter how bad it gets, no matter if the body dies, the pure soul knows how to fly. That's your beautiful, youthful spirit, because it always finds a way to get by,
she said. She wasn't a seamstress like you'd think. She didn't laugh at your expense. And who knows how intense her teachings may get. Yet it felt as if she was an angel sent down from somewhere with a hidden understanding. She was so selfless to offer all this wisdom up in loving service, and there was such simple joy within her presence. Each experience was a gift for us to rediscover joy as a way to get through the pain of existence. Maybe life wasn't about learning how to get through suffering, but what if life was about finding a way to rediscover bliss, joy, and the peace which cannot be explained without the pain of existence? Sometimes the waves of grief would surpass what one calls the limits of pain. When a surge became so unbearable and there was no such cure in sight, I found that words did not help to explain. No one can stop such a surge of pain. Not your father, not your mother, and not even a lover. Even as a last desperate measure would swell, something in me felt a sense of wonder. Would this grief leave me unscathed if I offered away every beautiful moment with my ex-lover? But the grief doesn't take orders. Rather, we feel helpless without a way through it. Then a tidal wave of dread collapses upon us and pulls us under our emotions as we begin to sink instead. And so we may think, I will not get through this. How can I survive it? This pain is too much. And just when our inner state of terror is about to burst, it seems the tide shifts, it eases up, and it washes against the shore of our lives. But this time, it left me in a sort of dreadful madness. How was I supposed to bear the pain of it? With a fresh breath reaching past the fear, we're left with the watermark of our tears. Oh, the horror has passed for now, but surely it'll come back. Why, here there was a moment of relief, but it was only a matter of time before the grief would attack. Now the seamstress smiled when I found how she was right. Only after you stop trying to fight, only after you surrender to the darkest part of the night, can you release it when something new arises within that feels even more alive. Sometimes, after the grief swells up, there is a feeling that you have survived, and by some miracle, you do get by. In that moment, grief makes us wonder if it would be better to die, but you always get by, as long as you don't quit. And so the soul does in fact know that there is a way to get through it. Of course, it's easier said than done, but here we are, brave souls upon our passage, and only moments ago we were nearly lost to the tide of the heartbreaking madness. And if you've touched grief, then you know this. Oh, how even the pain can't stay the same, and it will change if we learn to sit with it. Oh, it may linger, but after long enough, it starts to change. Someday, when we look back, we're far past it. Maybe we'll understand it, maybe even hold a grudge against it. But as you get by, you'll realize how it was the joyful moments that were pulling us through the very worst of it. Yes, there was a single star in the sky, like a burning candle lost in a dark galaxy. Right when we thought we were going to die, we learned we survived. And the truth is, the soul knows how to get by. That's what this seamstress was about. And she was laughing with us because the pain was teaching us, leading us. Yet for some reason, it often felt like it defeated us. And who among us lives with the worst grief of life? Surely it touches all of us. Everyone has felt it. Oh, that heartbreaking madness, the impending death that stalks us like a shadow coming after each of us. Someday, we find ourselves clinging to that last thread of hope, even though we know how someday it splits and breaks us. Oh, but in spite of this, do you remember the beauty within existence? I wonder if the seamstress was more of a protector of joy than a helper through dismay, because her teachings came in such simple yet silly ways. Just when I'd be ready to throw a tantrum, she'd appear with a sign, a message, a signal, and every so often, she'd catch our attention with something extreme. Why, it was all such a mystery. And then she'd whisper,
"You'll get by."
and no matter what happens, I realized that the greatest gift I could ever give anyone was to be in the service of love that never seems to die. And what would be greater than to be in service of such love within existence? Such service is harder than it sounds, yet in other ways, it's more simple, yet even more profound. Give up self-interest. Offer away what you can. Might this be our highest calling? To live our lives in service? Then even when we're angry, we can be at peace because we know that it is taking care of everything. Oh, I'm still angry at the world right now, but I'm aware of a deep love. Yes, there is something within this world that pervades the worst pain, like a cloud that cannot be pulled down. It changes its form, its shape, and its path in a million different ways, but it never leaves for long. Love is everlasting, yet always changing. It's woven through everything and everyone. The more we are in service of love, the more it follows us wherever we go. Often the world may disrupt our peace, but once we connect to love, in a sense of service, we realize that we are connected to the supreme peace where the joy of love flows. Why, if anger grips the mind, we may get rightfully attached to having things go our own way. But what if love is just trying to show us where we are stuck, grasping, or afraid? After the anger passes, what remains is love. There is love everywhere, but sometimes it takes days, weeks, months, or years to notice. Sometimes love reaches to us gently, other times it rips forcefully. But the seamstress is right. We get through it because there is something even greater on the other side of sadness. Oh, now I believe it. Now I see that. Tomorrow I may forget this, but right now there is a path to peace, and we can be aware of it. Oh, who can do this? What woman or man stays true to it? I would sure like to say that I'm devoted in service, but it takes a lot of action to understand the nature of pure service. There is a joyful state of existence, while fear makes us constrict away from it. Bring us back to that love, that joy that allows us to move through the pain of existence. Now the seamstress leaned over with her cap and bells, as those patterns looked like 3 floppy dreadlocks. Yet the fabric was a sort of goofy crown with 3 bells draped down, as each had their own subtle sound. Oh, every other moment a bell would jingle, as the seamstress offered up a teaching, as if that bell came to offer fresh insight when she'd smirk with a quirky glance. She led me into places and situations where I'd forgotten how love was woven within life. To remember such love is self-existing.
Are you thinking of your own self-interest again? Maybe in the recent past, you took something too personal. What if we made our lives into an offering through service to help others? Then we could create an everlasting impact that reaches on forever. Now wouldn't that be something?
Said the seamstress. She would wink, but I wasn't sure if this was a human talking. Why, if I told anyone about her invisible spiritual insight, it might drive a person up the walls or into a mental institution. Why, the seamstress had an invisible presence like a magnet that tugged upon invisible aspects of reality, as if she sewed together threads and strands from invisible lands. I had no idea how she created such possibilities out of impossibility. What's all this about again?
You and I are on a date with destiny. I am a mysterious creature, and my ways are wild, yet my guidance is true. Sometimes I create from chaos, but I sew it together to make something new. No need to fear. I come to inspire, uplift, and direct you,
she said. And what type of creature are you?
Oh, why do you need words to describe the allure of the ocean? I am who I am, a seamstress, a maid, or think of me as an oceanic woman. My dear friend, all that you see of me is a shell. The rest belongs to love. I change my outer garments like a runway model to reveal the latest fashions, since my soul exists without a fixed form. I move through the world in whatever gown serves the moment. I nurture what is needed in any given moment to remind you of what is most sacred. You may find me in a different form, a different body, a different ocean, as I am the divine, clothed in the feminine. Know that I am not limited, yet I reveal the path to self-realization and spiritual awakening. I may wear 1,000 different gowns through our lives together, as love takes whatever shape is needed to bring us back home. The world is a stage, and life is a tapestry woven with divine threads. I simply help each character contribute to the larger cosmic play. And I must say, as a seamstress, I make them look the part. Know that I don't wear these gowns, dresses, and forms to deceive, but rather to reveal. Each role I play, be it a tigress, a stranger, the beloved, a wound, a mermaid, a woman, or a healer, it all happens in a perfect order. Each lesson is shaped perfectly. It's all sewn together as a custom piece. And that's why I never mass manufacture my dresses, but rather, I create one-of-a-kind garments to suit what each soul needs,
said the seamstress. Sometimes she would bend reality, and as she stretched it out like a ball of yarn being undone, I'd pray my last strand wouldn't break. Meanwhile, she was so aware, never pulling on my life too hard. Why, whenever a situation arose, she seemed to sew everything together perfectly, as if each experience was a sort of garment piecing together a mystery. Why, she would stretch us to find new limits and mold us into something even more beautifully, as her skill set would enhance our unique aspect within our humanity. Was this all symbolic? Had she come to sew my broken life back together? Her gaze held a loving connection, but where was her sewing machine or her stitching table?
Oh, a date with destiny is a big deal. It's when you realize there's something helping you out. Destiny is intelligent, powerful, and wise. And no matter how much you want to help yourself out, destiny is stronger than your own effort. With destiny, no bets are off. And with a seamstress like her, you can either trust or go mad, because there's no way to control her. And why would you? Know that I sew together our divine destiny, which is our best life,
said the seamstress. Being around her made me believe that the most beautiful, creative expression was possible. It's what I wanted and needed, even if I couldn't quite see it. She was so powerful that I knew she may slam the wrong doors in my face if needed, but even if this happened, she'd shout in glee, because somehow I trusted that she'd open the right doors to reveal whatever my soul would come to need. Oh, the seamstress wasn't afraid of havoc or mayhem, because it's the work of a creative woman on a divine assignment. Her every move was aligned, and no matter how messy a situation got, even if her actions were incomprehensible to my mind, every movement she made was deliberate and divine. Sometimes it would drive me a little crazy, because her spirit was an invisible presence, not quite manifest, and maybe the world would say I had a case of being schizophrenic. Even as I tell you about this, she wasn't a physical projection. Why, if you were here, then you wouldn't see her sitting beside us to notice, but rather, her teachings appeared as a pathway through the mind and the heart, and that's how she led us to find the deepest joy within the existence of her creations. Yet, I wondered about her appearance under all these fantastic garments. Oh, it would be something to cherish, just not how one would expect it. Her spirit would jump around and change into an acorn, a cat, a person, or even an owl flying over the town. Why, it seemed there was nothing by which the seamstress was bound. As if she was 10 steps ahead, my ego would fight against her, yet the mind would still ponder everything she did. Oh, I'd tell myself that I needed to get it together and stop behaving so serious around town, because just then, I'd notice a smirk of playfulness arise from the seamstress, and there was no way I could frown. Oh, seamstress, you must help me understand. What are we doing here? What do you mean, a date with destiny? What's your motive behind your invisible influence? Are you sewing together some sort of invisible tapestry? Are you here to tame me?
You think I'm taming an animal? As if I need to adjust you with some sort of improvement? Isn't that a good joke? Think of it more so that I'm a great seamstress, and I'd like to take you out on a great date. So I want to make sure my man looks fantastic. I'd rather keep you wild. So know that I'm not out to tame anyone, but I'll teach you how to behave naturally if you're willing to protect the Earth Garden. And if you promise to stay wild, then in time you'll make a worthy warrior. Oh, us wild ones need not to be tamed, or else we will be weakened. I love the great creatures. Such are the elk, the bear, the lion, the serpent, and the human man. Why, there is a part of us that will always be wild, and that is why who we are at our core must be strengthened. I want to bring out the potential in all of us, so in that sense, there is a warrior within that supports the wild life. I'm here to help you conquer weakness that isn't fitting. I'm here to lead you to your wife,
she said. And what am I to you? Why are you interested in me?
The deeper we go on the path, the more it works like a magnet. I can't tell you who you are and what you mean to me, but rather, I'm going to prove it through your humanity. If your body comes from the earth, then know that I'm from the ocean. We are the two pillars of a sacred temple, and together we hold up the gateway of a spiritual safe haven,
she said. Then how do you explain all of this?
Since I am a creature of the ocean, let me explain what we share under the same sky. And so I ask, do you know what happens when the biggest creature on Earth, the blue whale, dies? Did you know that a blue whale can sense its impending death? That's when it swims far from its home, and with the last of its strength, it makes one final dive into the deepest part of the sea. It's called the whale fall. As it leaves its body, first the sharks and eels feast upon it, and when only a little flesh remains, tiny worms take over before bacteria feeds on the nutrients, and together this supports new plant life growing on the skeleton. One whale body can support 43 species. When a whale dies, it gives life to countless creatures. This shows the wisdom of God's design. Nothing is wasted. Everything in creation has a purpose. Every detail is part of the plan, and we are like that whale. Can we offer all that we have so that others may thrive? And so I ask, can we offer up our love to sustain all of life?
Said the seamstress. Then what or who are you?
I am not some sort of noun, always changing through action, yet the serious call me absurd. Maybe that is why I tease them with trickery. Yet if you greet me playfully, I will teach you about the endless mysteries. Why such a secret is hidden in plain sight, and I've come to lead you to a hidden passage. Have you noticed something strange? There is a path to something greater, and once you commit to it, your entire life can change for its greatest purpose,
said the seamstress. I do feel that I trust you, and I would like to be in service of love. Then is this why you have come? Just then, the seamstress pointed up to the new moon that rose overhead, and with a wink of her eye, the tide grew ever low when it revealed a doorway that was far under the sand we'd uncovered.
Are you ready for your big adventure? This marks the portal, when 7 planets in Aries join together. For so long, the world has kept this buried, yet it is time to uncover this portal with the spirit of playfulness. So be curious as we dig a bit deeper and discover the doorway. Enter into the spirit of playfulness,
said the seamstress. Just as she said it, my digging hands reached so deep in the sand when I felt that wooden door. As the wood was uncovered more and more, the ocean began to transform as if it had been listening. As the swell cracked open the portal,
the water is changing. Looks like the tides will change again soon. We won't have much time. We only have this new moon. And soon, the ocean will pull the doorway all the way open. Yes, it is the tide that uncovers the portal. This pathway only opens once in a lifetime, so you need to be brave and surrender.
said the seamstress. Each wave pulled the portal open more and more as the tide emptied the sand from the shore. So much so that the barreling waves crashed behind us as if each ate away the sand until I realized this opening would not be here for long. Then at last, I could see the entire hidden doorway. Why, yes, this was a great portal. Oh my lord, there is nothing to lose, because nothing is mine,
Yes, now you're starting to understand it just fine.
said the seamstress.